Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar.
Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAHM.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
هسته‌ای کشورمان حمله کرد. دشمن صهیونی مجتمع آب سنگین شهدای خنداب در استان مرکزی را مورد هدف قرار داد. مرتضی میری، مدیرکل مدیریت بحران استان مرکزی به خبرگزاری سندو
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Akanksha Khajuri. And this evening, as we get you the top stories from around the world, our focus remains on the escalating Iran and Israel conflict, now entering day 9. Now, first up, we'll break down the strikes, mapped location by location, both in Israel and Iran. Next, my colleague Nick reports straight from Tel Aviv on the ground amid the rising tensions. Also on the show, Donald Trump tears into his own intelligence chief over the Iran assessment. And back home, Operation Sindhu is in full swing. Hundreds of Indians have been brought back safely. Also, DGCA has slammed Air India once again, and we'll tell you why. And finally, to the state of Uttar Pradesh, where Operation Langra is in full swing. Let's get started. In fact, let's get you details from as far as the Iran and Israel conflict is concerned. There have been no signs of de-escalation in the week-long conflict as Iran and Israel continue to trade strikes on each other. In the last 24 hours, Israel has in fact attacked the Isfahan nuclear facilities and killed 2 top commanders as well. Iran, on the other hand, has attacked the daycare center in the same area where a hospital, if you remember, was attacked 2 days back. Here's more.
Here is the downtown of Tel Aviv area, one of the main business centers of Israel.
2 nations,
One war, no restraint.
Those offices, skyscrapers, were the target of the Iranian missile, and also the residential buildings here, some of them completely destroyed.
Civilians caught in the crossfire. Iran bleeds. 400 killed, thousands injured. Israel's defense holds, but not enough. Tel Aviv counts its dead. Endgame? None. Only rising fury. As nuclear talks collapse, missiles speak. Republic TV, the only voice in the war zone. Tel Aviv Iranian missiles have hit homes.
Those buildings maybe can collapse, and those buildings are not military targets whatsoever. You can understand that here it's a residential area. People are living here, and all of them were targets because the shock wave just of one ballistic missile is for hundreds of meters of radius.
Israel takes out top IRGC commander Behnam Shahriari. He armed proxies, funded terrorists, and now he's gone. Another pillar of Iran-Hamas axis eliminated. Saeed Azadi, key to October 7th massacre, neutralized. The mastermind of Iran's terror web is no more. Iran says Israel hit Isfahan nuclear site. Now Tehran is crying foul. Files complaint against IAEA chief accusing him of bias and violation of neutrality. Khamenei rages and threatens brutal retaliation. Iran says no talks unless Israel backs off, but keeps channels open with US. West Asia burns with no ceasefire and no peace in sight.
And for better clarity, let me pull in the map of Iran for you and explain to you where this attack in fact took place. Israel, which is at least 1,500 kilometers from Iran, in fact attacked right here. This is where the Isfahan nuclear site is, and this is not the first time that this site has been targeted. Just 1 week back, this exact location, which is home to a key nuclear research center, was attacked by IDF. That was June 13th when this in fact took place. But what we're learning so far is that no hazardous leak has been detected, but definitely as far as Israel is concerned, their focus is on this specific nuclear reactor, and that is why this has been attacked twice. Second attack on the key nuclear facility in the last 7 days. In fact, Israel has also claimed that they have killed the two top commanders as far as Iran is concerned. Let me take you through them. The first one is Saeed Azadi. You can see his picture there on the screen. He's the top Iranian commander. He has been eliminated in Qom. Remember, this is very close to another nuclear site in Iran. He has been the mastermind of Iran's anti-Israel strategy, and all these claims have been made by IDF. He's been the commander of Palestine Corps, Quds Force, as well as far as this key commander who's been eliminated is concerned. He has been the key link between IRGC, Hamas, and October 7th attack, and that is why this holds a lot of importance, and that is why Israel wanted to attack him. Oversaw Iranian funding for Hamas terror activities. He was also involved as far as the funding is also concerned. The first person, his name is Saeed Azadi, who has been eliminated by Israel. Let's go to the other key commander. His name is Behnam Shahriari. He has been the key figure behind Iran's weapon transfer, a key person as far as Iran is concerned. And that is why Israel has targeted him. Moving on, he oversaw arms and funds to the terror proxies. This man that you can see right here on the screen. Now, moving on. Let's tell you more about him. He financed attack that killed Israeli soldiers and civilians. So this man is, as far as the funding is concerned, he used to take care of that, and that is why he has been eliminated. Now, from Iran, let's shift our focus to Israel. And let us tell you, in the last 24 hours, how Iran has attacked and what all areas have been attacked. The first one, in fact, is Beersheba. Remember, this is the area where a hospital was attacked just few days back. This is, in fact, far from Tel Aviv, but still a very important area as far as this conflict is concerned, because Iran is concentrating on that. Now, in the last 24 hours, in fact, earlier, as we told you, hospital was attacked. Yesterday, here, a daycare center was attacked. No injuries have been reported so far as this is concerned. Now, moving on with the story, the conflict between Israel and Iran has been intensifying, with both countries engaging in a series of military strikes, cyber attacks and covert operations. And Israel has targeted Iranian military installation and nuclear facilities, while Iran, on the other hand, has responded with the rocket attacks and the drone strikes. The conflict has in fact, seen significant global implication due to the involvement of the major world powers. The United States, a key ally of Israel, has been drawn into this conflict, as we've been seeing statements coming from Donald Trump, while on the other hand, Iran has received support from Russia and China. This has led to a complex web of alliances and rivalries that could potentially escalate the conflict in this region. While this escalation sees no end, Republic TV is the only channel reporting live from Tel Aviv in Israel from the areas that have suffered extensive damage. In fact, let me go across to my colleague Nick, who has been getting us every single detail as far as Israel is concerned and attacked by Iran in the last 9 days. Nick, you've been getting us those reports. What we're learning is that in the last 24 hours, there have been several attacks, specifically on the civilian areas. Tell us what are you learning there from the ground?
Yeah, that's right. Israel continues to defend itself against the Iranian attacks, and Iran continue to bombard civilian areas like the one behind me. For example, they are targeting residential areas, and in the past 24 hours, for example, one of the ballistic missiles hit a mosque where people were praying, and in Israel, about 20% of the population are Arabs, but it is not holy for the regime of Iran. They even hurting Muslims and Arabs. And another hit was at the municipality of Haifa and some residential buildings there. It is a city in the north of Israel by the Bay of Haifa, and Iran targeting a lot of the rockets there because there are a lot of facilities there which are carrying and using materials like chemicals and some dangerous materials, because it is a heavy industry there. There are a lot of factories there, and Iran wants to hit this area because they want to harm a lot of destruction to the area that could happen if those hazardous materials, if those very dangerous materials from the factories will leak and will cause a chain of big explosions. And it shows you another example how Iran doesn't care to hurt regular Israelis and regular people. They are the targets right now of those attacks of Iran. We also saw in the past day that the rockets of Iran are going across all the country of Israel. And they are also targeting many times Israel in the middle of the night. So many Israelis are not sleeping for more than 1 week. A lot of them under a lot of stress, and they are getting a lot of medications to relieve this stress because they need to wake up. They have a few minutes to find a bomb shelter, sometimes a few times each night, and each sound, even of a motorcycle crossing by, cause them a bit of this reflex of we need now to find a place to hide. And also it's really interesting that now you can see people in the middle of Tel Aviv are in
Absolutely.
their
Today is day 9th of the conflict. It remains to be seen how it pans out in the coming week, whether it de-escalates or the situation remains the same. Thank you so much, Nick, for getting us those ground reports. Now, shifting our focus as far as the conflict is concerned, cracks seem to appear between US President Donald Trump and his US National Intelligence Director over Iran's nuclear program, compelling Tulsi Gabbard to backtrack on her assessment for the second time this week. Publicly, in fact, this has been the second time this week that she was publicly rebuked by Donald Trump. He rejected her analysis of Iran's nuclear capabilities. And while speaking to the reporters in New Jersey, Trump repeated his beliefs that Iran is building nuclear weapon. He dismissed the testimony of his own intelligence chief, in fact, which she gave in March this year, in which she said that Tehran's nuclear development program was not close to the bomb. Now, Trump flatly said, and I quote, "She is completely wrong." This is not the first time that Trump has rejected her intelligence assessment. Meanwhile, she has diverted her anger towards media and said that her testimony was taken out of context to manufacture a division. Listen in to what both of them said.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
Iran continues to seek expansion of its influence in the Middle East, despite the degradation to its proxies and defenses during the Gaza conflict. Iran has developed and maintains ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and UAVs, including systems capable of striking U.S. targets and allies in the region. Tehran has shown a willingness to use these weapons, including during a 2020 attack on U.S. forces in Iraq and in attacks against Israel in April and October 2024. Iran's cyber operations and capabilities also present a serious threat to U.S. networks and data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program. In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons in public, likely emboldening nuclear weapons advocates within Iran's decision-making apparatus. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is at its highest levels and is unprecedented for a state without nuclear weapons. Iran will likely continue efforts to counter Israel and press for U.S. military withdrawal from the region by aiding, arming, and helping to reconstitute its loose consortium of like-minded terrorists and militant actors, which it refers to as its axis of resistance.
And back in India, Operation Sindhu is in full swing. In view of the recent developments between Israel and Iran, the Indian government has decided to evacuate Indians stuck in Iran. Operation Sindhu continues in full swing. So far, India has evacuated 570 nationals stranded in the war-hit Iran. A rescue flight landed in the national capital in the wee hours today. And in a significant diplomatic move, India is not just going to evacuate its own citizens, but will also be assisting in evacuation of those from Nepal and also from Sri Lanka. Let me go across to my colleague Riyanka, who continues to track the story and the evacuation process very closely. Riyanka, just a while back, we got to know that another flight carrying the Indian nationals has landed in the national capital. You spoke to a few of them. What are they saying? Are they happy to be back?
Absolutely, we of course captured that moment of joy and happiness that was seen in the faces of all the students. Right now, what I'm showing you in these visuals is this particular bus which has been boarded by all the students who are slated to go to Kashmir. And this is a special bus service which has been put in place for all the students who have been evacuated from Iran, and they are from Kashmir, and they will be taken into this particular bus. It is a luxurious sleeper bus which is currently being prepared for the students to go from New Delhi to Srinagar. More visuals coming in. More students are now, one by one moving on to board their buses. These are the students who have in fact been evacuated. How do you feel to come back? Do you want to thank the government?
Yeah, I'm so thankful to the government.
So there you see, they are saying they are in fact thankful for the government, and we are showing you live visuals of these students who have been evacuated to board their buses, the special buses that have been organized at this point in time. More visuals of students. Are you happy to come back?
So happy.
So they are, of course, saying you have been evacuated. How do you feel about it?
मुझे सर पे बहुत दर्द हो रहा है अभी.
They are also very tired at this point in time, and as we also understand, they are waiting to very well go from this particular area back to their houses. And we are showing you more students who are coming in one by one. All of them have been successfully evacuated. Most of them not very comfortable to speak on camera because they are tired after a long journey. But we'll also try and have a word from one of those students who have in fact come back, and you can see they do have happy faces, and it is a moment of joy. How do you feel coming back to India? So as we had tried to have a conversation with them, but they are in a hurry to go back home. And we continue to show you these visuals from the airport here in the national capital. All the students now, one by one, rushing towards finding their buses as they will be taken from this particular place, the IGI to Srinagar, a 15 to 16 hour long journey. And as they move forward, they of course thank the Indian government. They carry the Indian national flag with them, and that is the success of Operation Sindhu.
Absolutely. One can only understand how stressed they must be when they were in Iran, and now it appears that they are very relieved with this. Thank you, Riyanka, for all the details. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this. Now, worry continues to grow for Air India as aviation safety watchdog DGCA has slapped a show-cause notice on it for violating the flight duty time norms for the crew. Now, these violations were found during the spot checks of the airline's Bangalore to London flight of May 16th and 17th, where the FTDL had exceeded the 10-hour limit. Now, DGCA has ordered the removal of the 3 Air India officials who are in charge of the crew rostering following these lapses which have come to the fore. Air India has been warned that any such future violation will attract much more action than this time. Meanwhile, Air India has issued a statement saying that they have implemented this order, but many are saying that this again is a templated reply. Let me go across to our expert, Gyan Prakash Vajpayee, who's been the former flight safety consultant, Air India and Air Force. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV. How do you see this, in fact, DGCA versus Air India pan out? Because in the last few months, what we are learning is that more than 15 such show-cause notices were given to Air India, and then we saw that incident took place in Ahmedabad. Now another such show-cause notice has been given. Another templated response has come from Air India. What do you have to say on this?
Madam, the news shown by you is available in most of the media channels. In the first side, it appears to be perfectly normal that DGCA is doing a good job by removing the 3 officials of IOCC who were held responsible for unauthorized and non-compliant crew pairing and violation of mandatory licensing and recensing of license, and also systematic failure on the rostering business. But it also raises few queries that why Air India could not check these things during their own internal audits and spot checks, why it should go up to the DGCA level. And it seems there is a total coordination gap existing between flight safety critical department such as flight safety, flight operations, IOCC, and other engineering department. This is not in good taste. One more thing is that to bridge the gap between DGCA and CEO of the Air India, there are various DGCA appointment holders have been put into the place. It seems there is some gap of communication between DGCA post holders in different departments and their direct contact with the CEO. Otherwise, such situation should not be arrived.
Absolutely, sir. Angle has come to the fore related to the flight duty time limitation, FDTL, is what we are learning. There was a violation of this. Could you explain to us, because you've been connected to Air India and also Air Force, what does this mean and what clearly in your reference, what was the violation as far as this is concerned?
Ma'am, there is a necessary rest period is to be given to the air crews, whether it is pilots or it is the cabin crews. After stipulated number of flying hours of flying, they are necessarily to be given rest. But due to the shortage of pilot, due to the non-availability of correct pilot, the rostering department details the people who are not supposed to be detailed. Obviously, you will agree if somebody is in fatigue, so in hour of need, his reaction will get different. He might not initiate the correct action. So that's why all over the world, as per the ICAO direction and DGCA, civil airworthiness departments have been put into the place that there are certain limitation has been put on the duty hours for the air crews and the cabin crews, not only on consecutive flight, but on monthly basis, on annual basis. So that FDTL means that.
Absolutely. DGCA has pulled up Air India yet again, definitely not for the first time. Thank you, Mr. Vajpayee, for speaking to Republic TV. Now, shifting our focus to the state of Uttar Pradesh, let me tell you about the Yogi model and Operation Langra in action. In a late-night operation on June 20th, the Uttar Pradesh Police Special Task Force engaged in a fierce encounter with a gang of robbers in Jahangírbád police station area of Bulandshahr, resulting in death of one Vinod Kumar, a notorious criminal with a bounty of 1 lakh on his head. Now, active in crime since 2006, Vinod faced over 40 cases of murder and robbery across Muzaffarnagar, Shamli, Baghpat district, etc., including 6 robbery cases in 2024 alone and 7-year sentence from a 2012 Muzaffarnagar case. Watch this report, and then we also have a statement from the police.
यूपी के बुलंदशहर में बीती रात 1 लाख के इनामी बदमाश को नोएडा एसटीएफ ने एनकाउंटर के दौरान ढेर कर दिया। बदमाश का नाम विनोद गडरिया बताया जा रहा है, जो कि लंबे समय से यूपी पुलिस की गिरफ्त से फरार चल रहा था। नोएडा एसटीएफ को जानकारी मिलती है कि बुलंदशहर के जहांगीराबाद इलाके में वो एक बड़ी वारदात को अंजाम देने के लिए आने वाला है, जिसके बाद इस जगह पे नोएडा एसटीएफ जो है वो ट्रैप लगाती है। ये जो आप रास्ता देख रहे हैं, ये जहांगीराबाद थाने इलाके का पूरा हिस्सा है। यहीं से बाइक पे बदमाश जो था वारदात को अंजाम देने के लिए जा रहा था। रात 8 से 9 बजे के आसपास पुलिस जो यहाँ पे ट्रैप लगाती है, बदमाश की पहचान होती है। पहचान होने के बाद उसको सरेंडर करने को कहा जाता है, लेकिन इतना ही नहीं, उसके बाद बदमाश इतना शातिर था, वो अपनी बाइक को लेकर यहाँ से जंगल में उतर जाता है और उतरने के बाद यहाँ से बाइक को काफ़ी तेज़ी से भगाता हुआ इस जगह पे आ जाता है। आखिर में पुलिस जो है बदमाश को सरेंडर करने को कहती है, लेकिन बदमाश के पास पिस्टल थी, लोडेड पिस्टल निकालता है, पुलिस टीम पे फायरिंग करना शुरू कर देता है। इस एनकाउंटर में 2 पुलिसकर्मी भी घायल हुए हैं। फिलहाल उनकी हालत पहले से बेहतर बनी हुई है। मैं आपको एनकाउंटर स्पॉट दिखाना चाहूँगा। जब यहाँ पे उसको सरेंडर करने को कहा तो उसने फायरिंग करी। जवाबी कार्रवाई में पुलिस टीम ने भी कई राउंड फायरिंग की, जिसमें यहाँ पे उसको गोली लगती है, उसकी मौके पे ही मृत्यु हो जाती है। फिलहाल ये पूरे इस हिस्से को जो है पुलिस ने कॉर्डन ऑफ किया हुआ है, क्योंकि जंगल का एक साइड का एक रास्ता है, यहाँ से भागने की कोशिश कर रहा था, लेकिन यहीं पर ही उसको ढेर कर दिया जाता है।
यूपी एसटीएफ की नोएडा यूनिट की बदमाशों से थाना जहांगीराबाद क्षेत्र में मुठभेड़ हुई है। सूचना ये थी कि ये बदमाश किसी बड़ी घटना को अंजाम देने के लिए यहाँ आए हुए हैं। इसी सूचना को विकसित करके जब टीम ने इनको इंटरसेप्ट करने का प्रयास किया तो बदमाशों के द्वारा पुलिस टीम पर फायरिंग की गई, जिसमें 2 पुलिसकर्मी हमारे एसटीएफ के कर्मचारी भी घायल हुए। और जब टीम ने इसमें आत्मरक्षा फायरिंग की तो उसमें एक बदमाश को गोली लगी, जिसको उपचार हेतु अस्पताल ले जाया गया, जहाँ पर उसकी मृत्यु हो गई। उसकी पहचान विनोद गडरिया के रूप में हुई है और उस पर मुजफ्फरनगर से 1 लाख रुपए का रिवार्ड है। वहाँ कई डकैतियों में वांछित चल रहा था।
This is all we could pack for you in this bulletin of 6 at 6 stories. We'll be back tomorrow with more such stories. Till then, keep watching Republic TV.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
अब छोलिया हो